Good morning all from the sunny Scillies. It's Friday and I'm trying to think how far we are into the trip. Yeah, well over a week but not quite 2 weeks yet, so it's 3 weeks in all. We're due to be back in Falmouth on the 23rd, and so yesterday I think I posted a video saying it's all quiet, nothing's gone wrong and I've got nothing to fix. I spoke too soon. We've got a key that opens the fittings on the deck so you can put water and fuel in, and a couple of days before that one of them went over the side. Not responsible for that one, and it was over on where the jetty is over here, over there. And when we went ashore yesterday to get the boat to Tresco, we could see it lying on the bottom, so we decided that someone's going to go in and get it. It wasn't me. And I'll come back to that. I'll come back to that bit of the story in a minute. So earlier in the day, we had problems with the outboard motor on the tender again, and we diagnosed it as being water in the fuel and a really, really dirty spark plug. So we got the outboard motor back on board, clamped it on the back of the boat here, took out the spark plug, give it a good clean, wire brushed and everything else like we do, and took all the fuel out, and we put it into a clear container. Noticed there's droplets of water in there, which was what the problem was. When you take the fuel cap off a outboard motor, there's a little retaining chain that goes inside and it holds onto a clamp, so that it's impossible to drop the filler cap over the side of the boat. You know what's coming, don't you? There was a chain, but it wasn't connected to the inside of the filler cap, and I dropped it over the side, and all I could hear was a splash, and the water's really, really nice and clear here. Let me see if I can give you an example. I don't know if you can see the bottom here. Okay, and I watched it go all the way down, and I wasn't going swimming, and luckily there's a guy on a boat not even with our flotilla, but further over, a guy from Sheffield, lovely guy, and he happened to have a dry bag on board and a diving tank.
Mate, I'm sorry, mate.
It's okay, go on.
Want a brew?
Yes please, yeah, tea please, Liam. Sure. Sorry about that. And yeah, he had a diving tank, so we went to Tresco, and when we came back, the cap was on board. He left it on board the boat, so that was worth a bottle of red wine. And so yeah, all good now, all fixed. We got new fuel and the outboard motor is running, and the boys have gone ashore to get some shopping. So the Tresco trip, someone said, you know, you've really got to go to Tresco, take the opportunity while you're here, get the boat over, go to the gardens. The gardens are not to be missed. My mum Daphne, she said that the gardens are great, but the wild scenery is much nicer in her opinion, and the bar is really good. Well, I'm taking that as a recommendation. So we got to the boat ashore, and this is Tresco over here. We got the boat over there. I think it cost about £9 return or something like that. So all five of us went, the whole crew went. We got onto the pontoon and we were walking along. I think we walked about 100 yards, and there's a pub there. What are you going to do? One of them, Liam, he said he wanted to see the garden, so we left him to it. The rest of us, we went to the pub, and we knew what time the ferry was back. The ferry back was about 4:30. So we had a couple of hours in the pub, which was quite nice. Talking about Tresco, and look at the scenery from the pub. Anyway, we suddenly realised that we had to leg it to get the ferry, and it was half an hour's walk, because where the ferry drops you off is different from where it picks you up. So we went legging down the road with a belly full of beer, having not seen the gardens, really, really tired, and suddenly this buggy came back, this electric buggy, like a golf cart, and it's a bit like The Prisoner over there. Have you seen The Prisoner? And it stopped this guy, held him, and we said, any chance of a lift down to the ferry? He said, oh yeah, jump aboard, jump aboard. So three of us jumped on. We left the other two to walk, but they were RAF and Fleet Air Arm, so it didn't matter. Left them to walk, and then we got down there, and the guy said, oh, where have you been? And we said, well, we intended to go to the gardens, you know, we came to see the gardens. He said, but we found a pub instead, so we sat there. And I said to him, and what do you do for a living? He said, oh, I'm the director of the gardens. You couldn't make it up, could you? And anyway, he took us so far down, and then there's a heliport down there with a barrier across, and we couldn't get across. We couldn't get across to where the ferry is because there's a helicopter coming in from Penzance. He couldn't make it up. Anyway, and so we had to wait and wait and wait. Eventually the barrier went up, and we walked down, and the ferry had gone, and there was not another one. Luckily for us, when the ferry came, it picked up the people, or a few people that were there, but it was so full, and there was still a few more people waiting. They had to divert another ferry from an island called Briar, which is over here, to pick up the stragglers. So if that ferry hadn't have been full, we would have been stuck on Tresco for the night. which was no bad thing because the hotel, the pub over there had 16 rooms free. But anyway, we got back, and nice chili for dinner last night. Oh yeah, and back to the spanner that got dropped over the side. We volunteered the RAF guy to go in, so he got his speedos on. I took him over in the tender. Water was freezing, but when he got in, it was only up to his chest. It wasn't so bad. But as he got in, he disturbed the sandy bottom, so he couldn't see the spanner. Luckily, he's got feet like a monkey, and so he was feeling around on the seabed with his feet. Eventually found it, and with one of his monkey paws, he managed to pick it up. Got back on board. So now we've got a fuel cap back, we've got a spanner back, and I think today it might be a quiet day. We're going to go for a barbecue. We're going to have a few beers, and we're going to take the boat round to a beach somewhere. What could possibly go wrong? More later. Bye now.